I should be ready to begin testing here. This is an experimental Game Genie Super Mario Bros. Challenge. It's based on the Hammer Madness Challenge, or Hammer Toads Challenge, whatever you want to call it. I've replaced... So the first code at the top, it used to be UYAGEP, now it's UYAGEP. And the difference is there's no more random vertical hammers. So you can now jump over an enemy without having to take a random death as collateral now and then. Pardon me, my cable's a little tangled. There we go. That is better. Okay. Second and third codes are to eliminate another random chance of death. If you come out of a pipe, there will be piranha plants, or a piranha plant in the pipe. And with everything throwing hammers, the piranha plants throw hammers too, and they have a high probability of killing you when you come out of a pipe that you can't control. So those two codes eliminate all piranha plants after a screen transition. So like if you're coming out of a pipe, or you just started a level, or you're restarting on a checkpoint, no piranha plants will spawn at the start there. And between those three codes, it feels like the random chance elements are basically eliminated and everything becomes a manageable game of skill. So notably, the third code before used to be an infinite lives code. That's gone. Now you got to do each world on one set of lives. You can continue if you want, but you got to do it well. That's basically the name of the game here. So the other side effect of that code, those last two codes, is I replaced the code that gets rid of all piranha plants on World 1-1 with gets rid of all piranha plants after a level transition. So you get piranha plants on this level now, and they throw hammers, because everything throws hammers. And this is different than the Stagio code, which you may have heard of, because everything throws lots of hammers. It's not just everything throws hammers like a hammer brother. Everything throws a hammer every frame it can. Which really changes things a lot. So it means like only one enemy really gets a chance to throw a hammer per frame in general, because they're all trying to do it, and one of them will have priority, which makes some interesting manipulation opportunities where... Ooh. I forgot that they go behind the background. That's kind of sneaky. There's interesting manipulation opportunities where you want to try and choose which one has priority to make others easier to get by. So I wasn't expecting to get this taken by that particular challenge, but I found it a lot of fun. And now that I've completed the regular one, which because of the random chance thing, became a huge battle of stamina. Like eventually you'll get the right roll. The main problem is level 8-4, where you had to come out of a pipe 4 times. Oh. There we go, I made it. But now 8-4 will probably be relatively easy, because a lot of them will be eliminated. So usually it seems that having all the hammers around blocks that other elevator, which is a problem. This jumps really hard, but I made it. So I'm going to try and do this without warps. So note no piranha plant there. So I haven't tried this yet. This is my test run. If I didn't say that before. But I'm hoping it proves to be fun so that I can offer it as a challenge to other people. So I've got to try it out for myself first. Though I will say that World 8 is going to be really tough. Oh no, I got scared. Let go of the jump, tried to come back, but it was too late. I was already in the air. That's okay. As long as I make it to the end of the world, then I'm fine. The one random thing here that seems hard to eliminate is that sometimes the enemies keep walking off a cliff if they're throwing hammers. Sometimes they'll fall down. And it seems kind of random which of the two things happens. But I don't think it really affects the manageability of this challenge, so I think it's okay. I think in all those cases, like, you can handle both, and if you're experienced with it, you'll learn to cope with both possibilities at once. But that's the goal. I want this to be a skill-based thing rather than a stamina-based challenge. There was quite a bit of skill to the earlier one, it's just it had the massive stamina impact of grinding on 8-4 until you get the right roll. And I wanted to eliminate that most of all. Okay, so here we saw Goomba fell down some, but not all of them. I forget if there's stuff in here. Also, I'm realizing because I'm not doing warps, oh, I like how they go behind the level. That's really neat. We didn't see that in the previous challenge because we had a third code, I guess I hadn't mentioned it, that changed every enemy into the appearance of Toad, which sort of hid their differences, which in one way makes it harder, but in another way I think it made it easier because the piranhas couldn't hide behind stuff in the background, which they can now. Which is kind of interesting. But I wanted it to fit in 3 Game Genie codes, so that you could do it on a Game Genie. So before collecting all these coins was pointless, now there's a point. I like that. I want the 1-ups. I need the 1-ups. Because this will be a tough game. Aha! I don't need that, but I just wanted to prove that it was there. Prove to myself. Because I hadn't done that in any of my playing lately, and I was pretty sure there was something there after I thought about it. So now I can float over that bloober without just random chance of taking a vertical hammer, which is really nice. Like, the water levels used to be a potential grind because you'd have a large likelihood of taking a hit when you come out of the pipe at the end of the level. It seemed to be roughly 50%. I'm not sure of the actual odds, but... And it depends on how you act coming out of the pipe as well. if you don't get out of there quickly, or, I mean, if you could see the future and know which way the hammers are going to be randomly thrown, you could, in theory... Oh, game over. Okay. So the continues matter, but now I need to be able to do the world, each world, in one go. Ah. Okay, that was bad. So what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Because of that mushroom that I missed. Oh yeah. Don't be fooled by shells, you can't kick them. You cannot kick them. And we were missing that from the Toad challenge, the Goombas that kind of squat to throw the hammer. I like that. So technically, what happens with the second and third codes, there's code in the thing for creating a vertical pipe, which tests, are you on world 1, area 1, or whatever, and if that's true, then it skips the piranha plant. And I changed... Each of those codes changes one of those tests, and it replaces the lookup of the world with the lookup of this... there's a timeout variable for climbing on the vine. When you're climbing on a vine, it'll be 0, and then when you try and step off the vine, it holds you back for 18 frames. Is it 18 frames, or... I think it's 18 hexadecimal, so it's actually 24 frames. So you have to basically hold right. Oh yeah, I've got fire here, I can... Oh, I love how it's kind of splitting apart as it throws the hammers. So yeah, when you want to get off of a vine, you have to hold right or left for 24 frames before it will let you. It's just sort of I don't know what to call it. Not a safety mechanism, but it's just part of the control mechanism. Like, it has to... It doesn't want you to just fall off of the vine super easily, so they have this kind of... sort of like a safety latch for the vines. But anyhow, so... because that thing is somehow set to 0 whenever you're in between screens, I guess it just gets reset or whatever, and then as soon as you come out, it gets set back up to 24 whenever you're not on a vine. So I used that as a test instead of the test for World 1-1, which is actually 2 tests for 0. I had it test for the vine timeout, which is also 0 times like this, like between levels and stuff. Okay, so I want to get every coin on this level so that I can get the 1-up in World 3-1. There we go. Guess I don't need that. Points aren't helpful toward lives, are they? I don't think they are. That felt risky. There. See, as he goes down, he unleashes hammers. Because underneath Bowser is secretly a regular enemy. So I think all the Potobos disappear. Potobos? Potoboo? Potobo, I can never remember. I think they all disappear because they become hammer throwers. Look at that sneaking behind. That is so neat. I like it. Oh, I can probably go down one of these. So now it's actually safe to go down these pipes. Previously in the challenge it was a bad idea to do it. But the tables have kind of turned on that. However, I might be skipping wherever the one-up is. I don't remember where it is. Actually, is it over this bridge? The fire's not super helpful. Oh, there it is. Aha! No! I saw that coming all the way down. So Hammer Brothers are a little different in this mode, because they don't jump. Oh. Is the other one the, Oof. Okay. So actually I can show you what I mean about the vine here. So you're on the vine, so I press, and you have to hold. See how Mario hangs on for a moment before he falls off? And basically, otherwise, you would fall off as soon as you tap the button, which probably wouldn't feel too good. So they had that little variable in there, but I took advantage of it just because it happens to be reset to 0 in between screens. I like the fast version of that theme. That's always fun. Should be at the end of this level, shouldn't I? Here we are. Ooh! Three, 2, 5 lives. Feels good. Whoop. High jump past that one. Should be collecting coins. Keep ignoring them because I'm used to ignoring them, but... Nice. One thing I've noticed with this is that when you're invincible and you run into a hammer, you kind of knock them away. Ah. Mistime that. Oh well. The star makes you impatient. You want to run as far as you can. And it's easy to miss where it runs off. So here's an area where falling versus falling versus flying can be tricky to judge. So that misjudged. Now, okay, so we got flight this time. All those lives I built up. Going to waste now. Yeah, so that's not a good strategy for that enemy, but I'm not sure what is. I think maybe I want to run here and stand underneath. Oh no. And I don't want to do that. I'm gonna have to redo this world. Let's find out. Okay, this time it floats. So that one's a lot easier if it floats. Guess I should take these coins, but don't do what I did before. Okay. Doing good. Oh right, we want every coin on this level. What am I thinking? It's a level 3. Whoa! Alright, I think I did it. Okay. 1 life for 3-4. Should normally not be a problem. The fire will help. Should stop ignoring those coins. For some reason I always think that there's something in one of them, in one of the castles, but I'm not sure if there is. Okay, so this, being a Lakitu level, ends up being relatively easy. And I get this one up. No? Did I not get all the coins? I thought I got all the coins. I'm disappointed. Well, at least I got that. So on this challenge, especially now that the vertical hammers are gone, the high ground is usually a good bet. So if you can get over the enemy, or if you have some height advantage, it's easier to get over than off the ground. The worst are enemies that aren't high enough to run under, but are still elevated off the ground, so that you have to jump higher off the ground to get over them. So I actually have a really skilled maneuver for getting through these 3 Goombas if you don't have fire, but I have fire so it's safer. But what I do is I run at them, and then I do a little ducking hop, and I tend to hit the first and third ones in succession, and it works out really nice. So here I don't want to take the warp. I don't know if it's good to shoot that one down. I think I really just want to run across the top here. Am I bypassing an opportunity for... Oh, I got hit off the top of this... Oh, and I just skipped a mushroom. Could have gotten fire back if I had been paying attention, but if you're off the top of the screen, you can get hit by enemies or hammers. Oh, enemies or hammers that are off the bottom of the screen. There's sort of like a window where they overlap. Oh right, piranha plants don't form immediately after a checkpoint with this patch. That's one of the consequences. Okay, so here we go. I can get the That was the hammer I was supposed to get back. Don't leap into the air. Play safe. And here... let's try and stand over this one and then run. Okay. This one is an annoying height. There we go. Little duck slide underneath. A lot of hammers. Okay. I like that. Okay. So that worked out. No piranha plant there. So even though I haven't tested this, I'm pretty sure of how this is going to go. Oh! In terms of the function of the patch. I'm not sure how hard it's going to be overall, because this is the first test of it. Oh, right, I should be getting all the coins. Did I already miss some? Wait. Well, that felt like I hit a wall. Okay, that one's gonna keep walking. Hopefully it doesn't hammer me in the back. This is the end of... yeah. I don't know if I cut them all. Hi there, Fiskbit. So this is the new set of Game Genie codes. What I settled on was using 2 codes to eliminate piranha plants when you're coming out of a pipe. Is this low, mid, high? Or high, mid, low? Oh, no, I did it wrong. Whew. Okay. I'll be fine. And then this one is unforgettable because, like, it's obviously this inconvenient way to go there. Alright. Sorry. So, UYAGEP is the try and throw a hammer every frame kind of code. It's like UYAGEP, but it removes the glitchy vertical hammer. And then the other 2, basically whenever you're coming out of a level transition or a pipe transition, it can no longer spawn any piranha plants right there. So that means, like, after a checkpoint, after coming up a pipe, after coming off of a vine, you can't spawn any piranha plants on that screen. So between those 2, I think that eliminates the main sources of unavoidable random deaths. There's still randomness, but I think it's avoidable randomness. Oh, do I get this one up? Nope. I think I missed a coin. That was going to be tricky. So is this more targeted than no enemies? It's no piranha plants. Regular enemies still spawn. It's specifically just piranha plants. For all the piece of code that generates a vertical pipe has a test for it being world 1-1, and that's the test that I hijacked. So I replaced the test for world 1-1 to be a test of, are you climbing on a pipe, which is kind of weird, or not, are you climbing on a vine? There's like this vine timeout variable that turned out to be very convenient, because it happens to be 0 during screen changes. Which was just sort of a coincidence. This one I think I want to wait for. Yeah, there we go. Now it's no problem. That's all I had to do. Just remember it and be patient. Okay. So technically the code also means that if you're climbing on a vine, it can't spawn a piranha plant at that time, but that would never happen because you can't scroll left or right while you're climbing on a vine. So it's not really... it won't happen, but the code technically also means that. I love knocking the hammers out of the air when you're invincible. And I never knew that was a thing that happens, but this code has kind of taught me that. So how am I doing for lives here? 1 life. I don't think I'm going to make it. Okay, so here's... oh, come on, that was... oh, it was almost perfect, but... I gotta do 5-1 again. I was still going up, I think, when I hit that hammer brother. I was just like a few frames from the apex. Okay, so this time we remember to wait it out after this one, I think. I think that's the safe strategy. And after that, the rest of this level should go pretty smooth. Still love knocking those hammers down. Oh no. Maybe getting that 1-up is not a good idea. Do I get a checkpoint? Yes. Okay. The game is struggling hard. Well, it's got a lot of hammers to deal with. Ah! And the slowdown... Does it still crash on fireworks? I think that only happens on 7.3. I actually haven't tested it. And I don't intend to test that in this run, but it may still be a problem. But I should eventually test that. But right now my priority is just figuring out if this is fun to play or not. So far things are looking up, but I need to see... I need to see how World 8 plays, which means I'll need to beat World 8.2 and 8.3. I can beat 8.1 pretty well now, I think. Ah! Had a side kick there, backing them up. Should really have gone on top of that. Oh well. was a bad idea. Is that my second game over or third game over on World 5? Oh! I forgot. Ah, I didn't wait enough. Well, this has been a bad start. Now we wait. Or am I too early? A little further? Where do we come in? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna need some speed here. Can those Koopas be kicked? No. There are no kickable shells with these codes. The shells become a quasi-Hammer Brother. So everything is acting like a Hammer Brother, but kind of using... It doesn't collide like a Hammer Brother. So the way it moves around is using part of the Hammer Brother code, but like some of the other actions act as they were. So it becomes this really weird combo. Oh no! Was not what I needed. Okay. That didn't feel like a good, consistent strategy. Oh, I keep getting greedy about this star, and I wait for it, and I shouldn't wait for it. Gotta go. Or it gets eaten by the Goombas. Okay. No. Hang on a second. I should actually adjust my chat so that I can read it more easily. Forgot to zoom it because I'm a few feet away from it now. There we go. Now I can see. All right. So I like how this filters out strategies that aren't consistent. So that's a good effect that it has. Repeating worlds a lot is possibly tedious, but I think it can be overcome with learning and development of skill, which is kind of the goal. I want it to be a learnable, consistent challenge, rather than something that you can just throw life after life after until you get a good roll or something. So, kind of feeling good about it. So did I get to 5-3 before? I don't think I did. Okay, so here we go. We've got... Ah, yeah. Okay. That was a bit lucky, I'd say, but... also a bit well-timed. So if I remember to stay up here, then the next enemy is not a problem, I think. Can I not? Where are they? Come out, come out. Okay, so what happens here? They can still throw hammers on the way down, which is tricky. Looks like Beetle's got the Agent Smith. Oh, there it is. Oh, another star. Nice. Is that the end of the level? Whew. Okay, that almost backfired very badly. Oh, there's the... Oh, I like how they're almost like the magic bullets that they like turn around and watch you. That's neat. I didn't get to see that in the other form of the challenge because everything was Toad. Oh, come on, it didn't hit. I have noticed that the fireballs are kind of dodgy, even in the best of times. Oh, we got a low one. Gotta get moving fast. Okay. Oh, we've switched. They're just handing off the hammer there. Okay, so now, yeah. That one becomes a random problem, but it's not too bad. Okay. Okay. Oh, where'd you come from? Alright. I think I got like 2 lives. I got 4 lives. Okay, this is doing well now. And good practice for that one. So yeah, I think the Podoboos get... Oh no! I tried to duck and jump there, but I was just a little too late. Didn't remember in time. I can't just run. Nothing in these ones. 5 worlds down. But really, World 8 is the problem. Oh, a Lakitu level. Okay. These are always a gift. Now... I was trying to stop. Did that count as 2 deaths? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's draw this one back. I like how it hides behind the bricks. Is there anything back here? What am I doing this for? It's actually kind of worth it. Alright. Here we go. So this is pipe world. So we've missed one piranha plant there because it was at the start of the level. So occasionally we get those, but the rest of them will be here. Unless I can go down a pipe and like skip part of the level. I haven't... Oh wow, I haven't seen this in a long time. This is a neat kind of bonus area. I like it. Blah 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 throws the hammers. Still throwing hammers as hard as it can on the way down. I like it. Oh, they just keep coming. At least they don't hit the ground running. So that's now worth doing. Oh, and it clears these piranha plants because they were on the starting screen. I like it. So now it gives you incentive to seek out all those things. Was there anything in those? I think I usually check those and there's nothing. But it doesn't matter because I've got fire pretty well stocked. Just need lives, that's the main thing. So hammers go to the Koopa, we're fine. So World 5 was pretty tough. Nothing else has been super tough so far, I think. Oh right, I want all the coins now. I think that's the condition for the 1-up appearing. What did I... Not even suffering from slowdown at this point, that was just... me doing it bad. Okay. I like how that briefly turns gray, because it's gray world. Oof. So we should get a bullet. There we are. I knew you were coming. Oh! Wow. Okay, that I want to blame slowdown for. Okay. Extra life. And I think I got all the coins. Either Wyzakarus. How you doing? Yeah, I don't use an actual Game Genie. I am using a real NES, but I'm not using a real Game Genie because Game Genie kind of has like an ultra-thick card in it, and I have a nice kind of replacement connector on my NES. So I just applied the patches and I'm playing them on a power pack instead. But I wanted it to be Game Genie possible, so I made sure it would fit into three Game Genie codes. Okay, so does Bowser stop throwing fire when Bowser has lots of hammers? I've never really investigated this behavior. Yeah, those are the three codes I'm using now. The top one makes everything throw hammers all the time. And the other two eliminate some piranha plants that become huge random unavoidable chances of death because piranha plants spawn under your feet when you come out of a pipe. So it stops that from happening. Because the piranha plant under your feet will throw hammers, because everything throws hammers. Okay, so I think I want to try and get on the high ground here. I don't remember if there's a mushroom in here or... And I keep moving. Ooh, I can go down there. I find in the later levels... No, Game Genie had no... They didn't work with Nintendo at all. It was completely unlicensed, done well after the fact. Like, this game didn't even exist when Game Genie... Or rather, Game Genie was not even conceived, like, before this game existed, so, like, there was no chance of that. Game Genie is basically a really small ROM hack. You can change 3 bytes of the ROM, basically. And because code tends to have... You know, a piece of code tends to affect the whole program. You can do a lot with just 3 bytes of change. So that's what a Game Genie is. It's just very tiny ROM hack. And... yeah, I don't know, it has a lot of interesting power. So you couldn't do like a graphical hack with the Game Genie, but you can maybe replace one existing thing with another thing. Like there's another code that replaces all the enemies, they start to look like Toad. They don't act like Toad, but they look like Toad. This is kind of funny. Oh no! 2 deaths. I'm not I think that actually counted as 2 deaths. No, these codes would not be in the Game Genie booklet. I made them up today and yesterday. They were based on some other codes. So a couple of days ago I was playing a challenge related to this. Which was more glitchy and had a lot of random chance of death. So there's a big grind on some levels, waiting for like the right random chance to pass. This is my attempt to make the challenge more palatable and skill-based, and less random-based. You just tuned into an unfortunate moment? Oh, the 2 deaths. Well, the code's right up here. Just up above. That's not just a random picture, like that's the 3 codes. So, now I continue on World 7. Gotta remember how to play these levels again. Oh no! Okay. Oh, I jumped too late. No, it's all 3. You need all 3. The last 2 are kind of a pair that they don't. Neither of them works by itself. But the first one is the one that makes everything throw too many hammers. And the second 2, as a pair, deal with the piranha plants that end up under your feet. I forget where the extra life is in 7-1. If you can't read that last letter under the hand, it's an E. Oh, I thought I could get through it. Okay. No! No! Oof! Oof! There's nothing in here. Oh, right, here's the mushroom. Oh no, I forgot about this. It's a beetle. Does the... No, you can put the 3 codes in any order. Doesn't matter. Like, technically, you could have a code that blocks another code by operating on the same address of the ROM, but that's not normally useful, so basically, matter of codes pretty much never matters. Or, sorry, order of codes never matters. It's hard to talk and play. There we go. Alright. So this level in the previous challenge was pretty annoying just because of coming out of the pipe at the end of it. It's one of... Sometimes I'd have to do it once, sometimes I'd have to do it like 4 times. And then what? Oh, unexpected! Should have gone low. No, the second and third code keep the piranha plants from coming out of the pipe that's beneath you, basically. Oh. Forgot where I was for a moment. Okay, 7-1, 7-1. I was trying to employ my 5-1 strategy for a moment. So in general, my strategy is try and keep the high ground. Sometimes it's good to wait for an enemy, so you can wait till it gets to a place where you can deal with it better. But high ground makes it easier to jump over a lot of enemies. Oof. Okay, so... Let's see, so there's really nothing in there, okay. So I can take this pipe again, or I can see what's up in the rest of the level. I think I'll do some exploring just to investigate. So I think I come out of the pipe right here. So you don't save a whole lot by going in there. There we go. There's my mushroom, and now there's a beetle coming, so I should wait here for the beetle. I think it just fell off. Well, that was cool. They don't come up, but they'll... So if you leave those codes off, you'll find out. But they don't come up from the pipe, but they're still there, and they'll still throw hammers. So as you're coming out of the pipe, they'll throw a ton of hammers at you, and that's a problem. And there will already be some hammers in the air before you even have a chance to move. So that's the problem it's avoiding. And it's a problem you can solve either by throwing enough lives at it until you get through successfully, or in my case, I've found some codes to make that not a problem. Okay, that was a bad idea. Ooh, just barely. Okay. So I'm never sure if the fish patterns in these levels are random. I found it seemed at the end of like 2.2 that fish would just keep coming infinitely. So right here, coming out here, there would be a piranha plant in the pipe that would slide to the left and throw hammers at me. And that's not a good time. So that's what the patches are for. So, these levels tend to be easier, because the flying fish are now acting like Hammer Brothers, I think. Okay, so that was a waste of mushroom. That's okay. But, okay, so at the end of this level, I think the many hammers code will cause a crash if I get a firework. So I've got to not get a firework here. So I don't want 6, 3, or 1. 0's fine. I'm not sure if it crashes with this patch, but I highly suspect it will. All pipes have plants. Actually, that is a rule in the game, except for World 1-1. There's a special case for World 1-1. Well, with that, it depends if we're talking about regular Mario Brothers or this. Because I have codes that keep them from coming up in the case after, like, coming out of a pipe. It suppresses them. Is that not the right way? Hang on. Oh, it's top, middle, top. Wish I could make this jump. There we go. Alright, so we've made it to the final boss. 8-1, 8-2, 8-3. 8-4 shouldn't be too bad. So, well, my despawn didn't work, but I started big, so I guess that compensates. Should be able to get this one up. I think. There we go. There we go. I did get all the coins. Okay. At least, I'm still not entirely sure that's the condition, but I think that's the condition for getting the one up to appear. Oh, right. I have to rush this to get over that. I forgot to. No, it won't overheat your NES. It won't... This Game Genie code won't damage your NES. The chances of any Game Genie code doing that are pretty slim. Like, I think it might be technically possible to do something that might overheat your NES with a Game Genie code, but you'd have to engineer it to be bad, pretty much. I don't think anyone would stumble on that by accident. Oh, this is bad. I made it. Okay. That was not the good way to do it, but... It's fine, we're fine. Oh, I jumped on a gap. Yeah, I'm not sure what the consequences of putting the PPU in slave mode does, but that is something you could try and do. It would be hard to do that and trick someone into playing a game for long enough to... for it to matter, but... But aside from that, I mean, if it's a cartridge with, like, open bus stuff, you could cause bus... or not open bus, but a cartridge with bus conflicts. I guess you could force bus conflicts to happen constantly. Which might be able to cause some overheating problems. Okay, I did it. Now, my last thing, slow down here, so you can control this sliding under there. Okay. Okay, I died on that a bunch of times last time I played. Alright, so I've got 2 lives to get through 8-2. Probably won't happen. This is probably going to take many tries. Oh, right, I forgot about this. This provides some relief. Okay. If I do it right. So let's run here, grab this. Okay. Just wait for this one to come forward. Oh no. I lost my momentum. Oh, now this jump's gonna be pain. Okay, well. So we try and bait this piranha plant out here. We're lucky we can slip between its hammers, and then... Let's go! Oh! That's really hard, that spot. 2 deaths. I wonder if the 2 deaths could wrap my lives to 255. I think that's a possibility. Oh yeah, I got this. Free retry. It's no longer a free retry. So... Ooh. See, it throws off my timing. Wonder what results the EverDrive gives? I don't know, EverDrive or... I'm using a power pack, but typically there's not a lot of difference. There are specific cases where things end up different, but usually they're rare. Okay, that was a waste. Get out of there. Give me this one up. That'll make up for the problem. There we go. There we go. That, I think, is currently my most problematic part of this level, but I think I'm getting pretty good at threading it. Otherwise, there's no real problem through the star section. This used to be a problem, but now it's solved. And then this is hard, but not that hard. Now that I'm used to it. I just have to remember to stop. Extra World Game Genie code, yeah, like that's kind of one of the rare cases where you're making the game do search areas that were normally never used. Okay. Yes. So the timing there is really annoying because I don't know exactly where that enemy starts to spawn in. Oh no, it's gonna have hammers. There. Okay. That felt like a bit of a miracle. Okay. So this one's gonna come for me now. I don't know if I can get under it. It's harder to do it when big. Alright. Oh! Okay, I'm so close to the end now. Alright, I think I've starting to get the hang of 8-2. They're not the same, but they're part of one code. You need both of them or else it won't work. If you just have one of them, it will work on 1 out of every 4 levels, I think. Or it'll only work on World 1. It depends which one you only have 1 of, but it needs... Okay, so now that I have fire, this level should actually be theoretically a breeze. What? Oh, it's a piranha plant. Ah, that's funny. You can't see it because it's behind the wall. I like that. I missed that with the Nultka code. guess it doesn't matter if I grab coins here, because there's not really many coins in 8-4. So how many lives do I have? 2 lives? Hi there, Pixel Crash Gaming. Testing's going well. I'm on the final level. Okay, so the first princess, or the first piranha plant, is gone because of the mitigation code. Gotta remember how to do the rest of this level. So this one will be here. There we are. Now comes another one. Oh, I've got fire. Okay, I've never had fire on this level. Well, that changes things. But also this level is... I've taken all the teeth out of this level. So there's no piranha plants here because they're blocked when you come out of a pipe. Oh, okay. The dream is over. No! Okay. I wanted to have to do this one small, though. Oh, and I've got 3 lives. Okay, I'm doing fine here. I like that I don't have to wait here at the start anymore. This still needs a full blast jump. Okay. So all my previous strategies should now be mostly in effect, but a few things will change because of disappearing piranha plants when you come out of pipes. So that one wouldn't have thrown hammers, I think, any other one. So that I have to deal with differently, but learnable, I think. There we go. Okay. So this is as before. Alright. And this is no problem at all, except this one... Why isn't that one throwing hammers? Oh, I bet the Podoboos are blocking it. Okay. No piranha plant here. Oh, this is so different. I'm not worried about the vertical hammer from the blooper. And the music is just relaxing bonus time now. No problem at all. So now I think the Hammer Brother's gonna have hammers again, but doesn't jump. So... here goes. There we go. Alright. Success. So... this works. That was a fine playthrough, I think. I'm not unhappy with how those codes work out. It takes away a few extra piranha plants. Because I couldn't target specifically the one you were coming out of. I could only target, like, the screen that you're coming out of. But it doesn't make a huge difference. There's still a lot of the same strategy, and most of it's pretty much the same. So yeah, I'd call that a successful test. So I'll post the information to the Discord shortly. Here, let me go over to my computer. Let this sit. There we are. But, yeah, I feel that this is basically finished now. How much profit are we looking at here? Probably not much. So I want to thank the people that have given helpful advice. Fiskbit, I think you gave some good suggestions, and Jay Roach looked at it quite a bit with me. So thank you for helping out. You're calling me Billy Corgan. Smashing Pumpkins is a pretty good band. So, with that done, that didn't even take too long. So that was like, I've only been online for an hour and a half.